Hey everyone, so today is August 17th, 2025. Here in Chicago area we still have roughly 6 weeks of growing season, and where we expect a little bit of warm weather, um, warm enough for air layering. I usually wait until my trees stop growing, even though some of them don't actually stop growing here in this weather. However, I like to wait until I have at least semi-lignified wood before I can do the air layering. Now, well, it doesn't mean it doesn't work for greenwood. However, my trees have been early started, and they are already ahead of schedule, and pretty much a lot of them actually have lignified wood to semi-lignified new growth. But most importantly, I like to wait till I pick the fruits before I start air layering. I just don't want to sacrifice the quality of the fruit and any fruit at all. So now, since I picked a lot of my figs from a lot of my trees, and I still have a lot to go, the trees I like to duplicate, I would start air layering usually early August. I'm a little bit behind schedule this year, but I don't have too many to air layer. I prefer rooting, honestly. I just want a couple of varieties. I promised a couple of friends early in the season here. Hopefully by October they will be ready. You'll have to babysit these indoor if they don't have a warmer weather. But that's a different issue when it comes to what to do with young fruits in the winter. So if they're too young to go dormant, I would say you probably want to keep them indoor under light. And if they grow enough and you feel that they're strong enough, then you can just move them to the cold storage. This is a tree here I'm going to air layer, and as you see here, the wood is partially lignified. That's important because it's strong enough to hold the air layer, unlike the green wood, which would actually root quickly. Actually, the risk with green wood is that it would possibly break, especially because I like to girdle the bark when I air layer. That's from my experience. Girdling the bark helps with faster rooting. I learned about this over experience, but also if you read the science behind it. I'm going to show you how I prepared my air layer small baggies. Okay, here's my bottom mix. This is a store ready bottom mix, mostly peat and perlite. Now what you're gonna do is you are going to wet your mix and add water to it until it crumbles, and keep mixing it up until it crumbles and where you don't see any running water in your hands. And then you're gonna give it a good mix and let it sit for like at least 3 to 4 hours. After that, you mix it up again and then add a little bit more water until it continues to crumble, but you don't see any running water. Now, the way to know that you have the maximum moisture in your bottom mix is that you're going to squeeze it very hard, and only when you squeeze it really hard, you might see a couple drips of water between your hands. After that, what I use here, you can use sandwich bags. I do have these 4x12 plastic bags that I use for fake bob for rooting. What I do is I just fill it the same way here, and then I will basically just tie it. And what I have here is my bottom mix that you can see in the video. Piece of aluminum foil to reflect sun. I like to use a bigger piece because I like to tie it around the air layer to help with retaining moisture and make sure nothing escapes. And I have 2 zip ties here. I do also have my pruner. I was looking for my grafting knife because I was looking, I prefer to use that for girdling, but unfortunately I can't find it. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna just set the camera and try to zoom in where I'm gonna airlayer. I'm gonna do it over here. So I'm gonna girdle the park under this node here. I'm gonna have to remove this leaf, and I'm gonna try not to take much from this node over here. So I'm gonna keep the bag between these 2, I would say 4 inches of space here. Let me try to zoom in because I want to show you how I'm gonna do it. Perfect. Now some people like to just scratch the bark, just give it a couple scratch. As I said, from my experience, girdling helps. So I'll make 2 rings here, 1/2 inch space, I would say. And I should have had my glove. There's a lot of sap here, so be careful because this sap can be very irritating. Now don't go too deep. You don't want to snatch it or snap it. And I'm going to try as much as I can not to use my fingers. Go all around. Sure, just like to scrape it here. So nothing contact. That's clear. Now what I'm going to do next here, I have my Airlayer bob here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just zoom in a little bit out. I'm just gonna create a slit here. You see here, and I'm gonna grab my zip ties. Try to push it as much as I can in the middle, and I leave the piece of plastic here to help making sure it stays sealed as much as possible. See here, the straps nicely around it. And then get one of my zip ties. So push the branch inside, or grab or wrap the potting mix around it. Now when this is ready, I will just bring the pruner and I will just cut it from here. For now I'm going to push it up a little bit to give me just enough space. Let me grab my second zip tie. Remove the plastic or just bend it over. Next, I'm just going to snip these here. 1, 2. Keep my foil. As I mentioned, the foil, if it's big piece, you can just fold it. I like to come from under the big bob. The Airlayer here, and just wrap it against. The foil helps reflect the heat from the sun, so, and also prevent algae from growing because it's going to be moist, so you don't want that to happen. It can cause rotting. Another issue, I'm going to leave a small gap here. There's a small bud coming up here. Just going to and the other thing that's going to happen is that bud under the Airlayer will start growing, so I'll continue to keep an eye on it and see if I can try to train it to go upward outside. And there we go. That's the Airlayer. Now this is supported here. If this is not supported, you can add a stake next to it, just to make sure it stays straight and also not to break, similar to the other one I have here next to it. So I have a stake. This is a longer branch. So if I want to do an Airlayer there, for example, where you see the green wire, I would just keep the branch supported, not the Airlayer, the branch supported with the bamboo stake here. This is going to be, depends on the variety, of course, can be anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, and some varieties will be sooner, so we'll come in 3 weeks and check on this one. So I'll put a tag on it for the date. That should do it.